Welcome back, or just welcome. My name is Atticus. I like to draw cats. So I decided to completely start over, wipe the slate clean, uh, form new clans. Specifically, Tidalclan and the neighboring clans, although Tidalclan will be the main event. Uh, while I'm drawing the guide here, this is Holly. I guess I'll explain the lore. So basically, there was a cat cruise, which is a real thing, by the way. And this cruise was full of cat owners and their cats until one day during the cruise, it wrecked. Now we've got a bunch of cats trying to live out in the wild. They're doing their best. Um, the cats that didn't make it in the wreck, they actually spoke to Holly and the other guides. Um, and guided the cats to become clans. And so it's a whole thing. So I've given all of our founders kitty pet names, as well as their traditional clan names. And I think it's just interesting because this entire lifestyle is completely new to them. Uh, so yeah, Holly was our guide here was one of the first cats off the boat, was the original leader, and thus is the one who will be guiding all of our cats into StarClan. So we had one death this year. Very sad because I loved Cicada Hayes. Cicada Hayes was the deputy. She was strict, a fast runner, and a good fighter. I think her house cat name was Hazy. Um, And throughout the year, she had a pretty good year actually before the incident. Uh, she thought of her old two legs and wondered if they made it from the boat. And then at one point, she and another warrior find a fox feeding on a shark that had washed ashore overnight, and they proceeded to harass the fox until it just went away, and they were able to bring home shark meat for the clan to partake in. Later, she organized mock battle practice to keep the clan's fighting skills sharp. And I found it really funny because at one point she got the status that she found the sound of the cicadas annoying. Cicada Haze finds cicadas annoying. But sadly, she passed away when she got swept away by a wave during a storm. So, on to the leader of Tidalclan, the first leader. His name is Glentstar. By the end of the year, he has 9 lives. He is compassionate and a skilled mediator. I think his house cat name was Sparkles. He was a mentor at one point, and he was very eager to train his apprentice. And at one point, he and Cicada Hayes, they say they're going on patrol, but it's more of a walk to watch the sunset. He likes humming songs that his two legs used to play, and he very much is learning all this clan stuff on the fly. For instance, he called a meeting only to immediately forget what it was about. He's still learning like everyone else is. He doesn't know how to be a leader. He's just doing his best. At one point he goes to gather herbs with the medicine cat and confides in him that he thinks he had a dream from StarClan. He tells him of an acidic scent and the feeling of secrets that will never be revealed. The medicine cat just shakes his head, unable to make sense of the vision. And Glimstar, he struggles to pick a deputy after the deaths of Cicada Hayes, and he wants to pick someone that he thinks she would approve of. And he ends up picking a cat that he has feelings for. He confesses to this cat while the cat is sick and is rebuffed, and that is how he ended his year. So, Glint Star, not a great start. Alright, so we are on to the Deputy Rushbud, who is careful, a great kit sitter, and has a keen eye. His house cat name was Pingu, and he often volunteers to guard the camp at night. And honestly, that's just kind of his personality. Guard, because he just gets statuses about guarding the camp. And when he's not guarding the camp, he's teaching other cats how to better guard the camp. At one point, while he is on patrol, he is out with Grasper, and he gets caught in a sand pit, which he manages to escape. Later, and these might be connected, might not, but he is thankful to the medicine cat for his treatment. And there's also the thought there that maybe he has some sort of underlying condition he wasn't told. He hasn't told most of the clan about. But he gets an apprentice late in the year and is therefore chosen to be deputy after the death of Cicada Hayes. A moon after his appointment, he gets yellow cough, and he still has not recovered from yellow cough. So, we'll see if he makes it. Hopefully he does, because honestly, I really enjoy drawing him. Next up in the lineup, we have Wisp-Tooth, the medicine cat. He is faithful, clever, and a great hunter. His house cat name was Snarf. And Wisp-Tooth had a bad feeling about the boat and knew something bad was going to happen. Now that he's on the island, he hears the voice of cats who died before him much more clearly than your average cat. Later, as it goes on, he finds that he misses his two legs. Some point in the year, he finds Glennstar annoying, and he encourages his friends to trust in their beliefs. Which is interesting, because he doesn't really have friends. Uh, but yeah, Wisp-Tooth kind of has a 1,000-yard stare, because he's kind of a goose feather situation. He hears dead people. Uh, because, well, you would think there aren't a lot, dead currently, because he's the founder of the clan. So really, he's just seeing cats that have already lived on the island, or cats that died in the boat wreck. And neither option is very fun. Either way, he has a very strong Star Clan connection, and he's doing his best. Honeydapple is charismatic, very clever, and a good fighter. His house cat name was Honey, which is so original, and he wants to be deputy. He gets an apprentice throughout the year, and at some point, Honeydapple gives some fish to dolphins, explaining to his apprentice that they're smart and it's good to be on good terms with them. He was not expecting the dolphins to give him herbs in return. Later, he is ambushed by rogues, cats from the wreckage that didn't want anything to do with the clan way of life. He manages to duck and weave and survive the attack, howling out a warning to anyone around him as he runs for camp. Later, he twists a paw, and he's embarrassed by this and just wants to be left alone. He then sees a cat stumble during a hunt, and he thinks it's cute, and he's developing a crush on this cat. It is reciprocated, and we'll get to them in a minute. One of his last patrols, an Ibis clan apprentice, Crouchpaw, approaches the border and says he wishes to join Tidalclan. Honeydapple brings him back, and Glintstar agrees to let him join. So yeah, that's really all for Honeydapple. So Grassfur is one of the founders, and he is nervous, a great teacher, and a good den builder. His house cat name was Oliver, and he's actually the one that discovered that there are two legs that live on the other side of the island while exploring in the early days after the wreck. He gets heat exhaustion at one point, and he and the she cat Egret Pelt, they get close throughout the year, and eventually they decide to become mates. This is at the very end of the year. Uh, then it turns out that Egret Pelt is not Grassfur's only mate. He comes home one day with a compassionate Teasel, and he asks for his other mate to join the clan. Teasel is named Teaselis, and Grassfur is incredibly happy with this arrangement. Now, Egret Paw starts the year as charismatic and quick to help. She's too young to remember what she was called before the crash, and she is always got a list of complaint for Glintstar. Egretpaw and Honeydapple, because Honeydapple is her mentor, go on their first patrol to hunt, but they couldn't find anything to hide their scent and catch no prey. She gets heat exhaustion in the middle of the year and tries to cool off in the pools. At 13 Moon, she hopes that Glintstar notices her improvement and makes her a warrior. And at 14 Moons, she becomes Egret Pelt and is honored for her gregariousness. Instead of quick to help, she is then an excellent teacher. And as I told you already, she becomes mates with Grassfur. And they've got a thing going on. Now, Teaselhish joins at the end of the year to be with his mate Grassfur, and he then fights a fox to steal its prey and bring it back to camp, probably to prove himself. Now, year one, we already have a hinged polycule. I am more than happy about this. I will never say no to polyamory. I just think it's neat. So, Dusty Cuddles joined partway through the year. Dusty Cuddles had a dream of a cat with stars in his ginger fur. The cat led him to the beach where he saw more cats living. Dusty Cuddles then awoke and followed the path he had in his dream. He met Crouchfoot, who explained the clans to him. He decides to join, saying he felt like he had some connection to the clans. And that's really all there is to say about Dusty Cuddles. He joined pretty late in the year, which is a lot for a kitty pet, because, he's leaving the comforts of home, central heating, reliable food in the middle of Leaf Bear, to rough it out with these clan cats on the beach. So I don't know. I've got a pretty positive vibe for Dusty Cuddles. Another one of the founders, we have Frostpaw. He starts the year as charismatic and quick-witted, and his house cat name was Jen. He was named after a K-pop idol. He is always trying to do too much, and then he has to ask other cats for help. He doesn't really know his limits. He is apprenticed to Glitstar, and they go hunting, and they sent a fox that wandered onto the beach, and it attacks them, and Frostpaw gets a torn ear. They manage to bring back a small amount of prey, however. He is pretty quick to earn his warrior name, Frostflick, and he is the first ever to do so. Glitstar honors him for his energy, and then he gets heat stroke. And he feels like he can't get anything done in the heat, and he tries to cool off in the pools. He then sees a two-leg and a kitty pet play together, and he can't help but be disgusted that he once did the same when he was younger. He now sees himself somewhat superior to kitty pets because he's roughing it in the wild. So, yeah, that's Frostflick. So Crouchpaw's mother had him after the boat wrecked. He doesn't remember a life outside of the clans. What he does know is that he's not fond of the caves Ibis clan lives in. He much prefers the beach. As such, he leaves Ibis clan and joins Tidalclan. He starts as oddly observant and responsible and is apprenticed to Rushbud. During his first patrol with Rushbud, he seems off. Rushbud asks him what's wrong, putting a halt to everything they were doing. And Crouchpaw admits that he hasn't been sleeping well for moons. He's been having dreams of dark figures and shadows. Rushbud sympathizes, saying he isn't sure what to do, but he is there to support his apprentice. While Rushbud is sick with yellow cough, Crouchpaw trains with Egretpelt. Crouchpaw is named Crouchfoot at 12 moons and is honored for his level-headedness. He now has natural tuition. The first thing he does as a warrior is bring back Dusty Cuddles. So, yeah, that's Crouchfoot. Next, we have our single elder, Tree Tumble. She is adventurous, a great climber, and has valuable insight. She's an older cat who was named Lucy before she was stranded. She's adapted to island life well, however, leading training exercises and sparring in case of a fight. At one point, she is attacked by rats and injured, and she finds it hard to stay still while she heals. She wants to go on patrol a lot. She recovers, only to fight off a rogue and get hurt. The rogue in question was Sunday, who is literally a 6-moon-old kitten. Tree Tumble then wonders if Cicada Haze is overworking herself, which apparently she was, considering what happened to her. And then after Rushbud is picked to be deputy, Tree Tumble wonders if she could be deputy. But sadly, her age catches up to her and she retires at the end of the year. So I thought it would be really fun to have a section where I talk about other clans. I will admit I was a little inspired by Nyoko and Galaxy Clan in this part. Um, so when I randomly generated Tidalclan, I looked at the randomly generated clans and decided to make them in clangen as well, and edit the files a bit, and make things kind of fit together. So, first of all, we have Ibis Clan, and they are led by Oleander Star, and she is actually the mother of Crouchfoot. She's just kind of sweet. She's just generally nice. Just kind of a pleasant lady. Deputy is Tantamile, who joined like halfway through the year, was immediately given an apprentice, Emerald Paw, and then became deputy. Tantamile is apparently the main character of Ibis Clan. And then you have the medicine cat, who is Lightbright. He did not have to change his name when the clans were formed, because he was named after the Lightbright, the kid's toy. He ended the year with frostbite after desperately trying to find herbs, so that didn't go well for him. Then we move on to Toad Clan. Shatterstar is the leader of Toad Clan, and she lost a life the first moon from a dog. She then watched her clan slowly get picked off, one by one, through the year, and now they only have 5 cats. She got yellow cough, but shook it off. And you have Lavender Fur, the deputy. She spent her year hunting her ass off. And the medicine cat Doe Thistle, who would probably be a mediator if he wasn't needed as a healer. I would not be surprised at all if Toad Clan died out because there are only 5 cats in this clan. And it's not looking good. Finally, we have Bubbling Clan. Siltstar is the leader at year 1. He took over after Rhymestar, now Rhymeface, who was lost to 2 legs in the year. He actually has a crush on the previous leader, so we'll see where that goes. Roach Frost is the deputy at a whopping 22 moons, taking the role at 18 moons. I guess Siltstar sees a lot of potential in him, but I don't know. The medicine cat is Apricot Growl, and she is literally the only she-cat in the entire clan. No, that wasn't on purpose. She's generally grumpy despite being compassionate and seems stressed out. She does have a crush on Siltstar, but as I said, Siltstar has a crush on Rhymestar. Uh, these clans don't have the no babies rule for medicine cats yet, so I guess we'll see where that goes. So yeah, that's Tidalclan Year 1. I am very excited to work on this clan. Sadly, I am discontinuing Badger Clan, basically because I got way too attached to the cats, and I ended up playing 42 years into the future. So yeah, no more Badger Clan videos, just Tidal Clan. Please leave a like and a comment below, and please tell me if you are excited, because I know I am. Bye-bye!